Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Welcome back to the channel where last time we were here, we did some cool Industries DLC stuff. We got a forestry industry started. We got an ore industry started. And in today's episode, we are going to do a few things. We're going to get some high density residential in the region. Particularly around Oracle Bay. I want to kind of build up that town with some residential, and I've been waiting for the high density so we can do medium density housing in that town. But we're really close to the next milestone, and with that next milestone, we get rail, and we've been planning rail for a long time, so we'll be diving into that today. Now, this is the last episode for a little while if you're watching this, live as the series comes out. I'm taking a break for the middle of April, and I will be back in a few weeks. Watch out for a community post, but I'm aiming for April 20s kind of time. Yeah, April 24th probably, as the first episode back. All right, so let's hop out and take a look at what we did last episode. Oh, this isn't what we did last episode. This is Port Roberts. This is what we did last episode. Oracle ore and Victoria wood production. I'm recording this episode and last episode pretty close back to back, so I haven't seen any comments from the previous episode for the name suggestion for Victoria wood production, though I do like the name. But yeah, we can also come back here and dabble with this because we were very close to getting the next milestone. All we really need to do is place in a few more buildings for both of them, and we get level 4. So, that's a really quick thing we could do at the end of the episode, should we wish. So, we're really close to the next milestone. We just need to get to 10,000 people. So that's 400 more people. We could get that in a heartbeat, especially since we have the demand. But if we're looking at how the city's kind of developed, I think I prefer to look at the city in this direction. We can see that all the residential is over on this side, and we have no residential on this side. Well, that's because I've been waiting for the high density to build up this area, because I feel like this is kind of those mid-rise buildings that would be in here, like those 4-story apartment buildings would be in this zone. And you can't really get that with the low density, even the high-valued low density like we have in Port Roberts here. They're really nice buildings, but actually I really like this area. This looks nice. But there's not those mid-rises. I guess this one's fairly good, but can't have every single building in Oracle Bay be that. So let's go over to Oracle Bay and let's start looking at where we're going to put this stuff, because we have a few things to keep in mind. One, this is a pretty major corridor for traffic, which will have to come into place soon. I was hoping we could have a dedicated transit video or something like that. Maybe we could tie it in with, traffic. Maybe we could tie it in with transit. Have a transit and traffic video coming up. But we might need to deal with this sooner rather than later, especially because we have tons of traffic flowing through here. But yeah, so mid-rises. How do we get mid-rises? What is medium density? Well, it's high density zoning that you cap in the early levels of the building. So let's take a quick peek at what we could do. So we have some nice zones right here. That's not too bad of an area, but we do have some industry around us. We got to make sure that we're not building in a pollution zone. And yeah, this area is pollution. However, we do have industry that does not pollute, like the forestry industry over here. So this slot right in here is a really good spot that we could get some mid-rises. We also have a bus line coming through here, so that is convenient. So let's plop down this and we'll take a look at what we got going on. So we're going to find it. We go over into here, go into the high density buildings. We can find some really nice mid-rises, even some nice big high rises like this. But I'm thinking like this one in particular, it's one of my favorites. There's a couple other Art Deco ones that look really, really nice. So I'm just going to place down a few of these buildings in here, and I'll talk to you in a second. All right. Really like the look of this little block here. You have some older and some newer buildings. I like the buildings that are on the hills and how it works. Particularly like these two small buildings and the way they sit. One thing I'm not the biggest fan of is the fact that there's just like playground right on the road here. So I wonder if we can go into the BOB mod and remove it. Yeah, there we go. So these are some great mid-rise buildings, and I think it looks really nice in this area. And this is the first residential we have in the zone. Really wanted to respect the fact that this is probably an older part of the town, so probably would have been built up in, say the 60s or something like that. Weird saying that that's the old part of the town, but it's developing in this part of the world that we're setting the series in, which is Pacific Northwest. Has really only boomed in the last 100 years or so. So you see that this building is in front of us here, has a nice billboard on it, and it's asking for higher land value. There's a few things that we can do to boost that. So let's take a look at those possibilities. One, we can have garbage service. We've already got that. We can have post service, which I think we have in this area. Oh, hey, we don't have post service. Okay, so let's place in a post office right in here. So there we go. We're going to add in some post service there, so that should raise the land value right there. We have healthcare, it's right beside us. We have death care, it's right over here. We don't have any childcare or elder care. I don't think I'm going to get that in this zone. We should get that over in here. So why don't we place down, say, a childcare building right over here? Doesn't that's a good spot for it. Why not? And elder care, same situation. I think we could probably have this building in a bit more of a unique location, though. Yeah, very good. We can detail this up later. Actually, you know what? Let's detail it up now. So I'm pretty sure that this building has pedestrian access along the back of it, though I can never be certain if that is actually the case or not. So it's really simple just to add in a path right here. And even if there isn't, it looks like there should be. So I'm okay with doing this. All right, something simple like that really adds in a lot of character. Just one asset. I was playing with a few of them, but one asset and some flowers looks pretty good. Okay, so going back over to here because we're looking at raising the land value for this building. We're still not there, probably because this is like a level 4 unique building. So we checked out fire care or child care. Oh my goodness, elder care. We can add in some other things here like a sauna. That's a really good healthcare item. I don't know if that is the right spot for this. I don't even really think if I don't really know if this is even a really good area for this, but building fits right here. We could do something like this just to add it into the area. Really raises the land value. Fire is what I was mentioning before. How is the fire protection in this area? Good. It's in the green, so we should be good, but looking at the area as a whole, we could probably use some fire out this way. And why don't we delete this building right here and place it in its stead? Okay, very good. And police as well. That should have been added in if we didn't. Aha, so we did. That's awesome. And we haven't unlocked banks yet because we need to get the stock exchange to level up. And have we done that? I don't think so. No, so here's is the stock exchange. We should probably get this in sooner rather than later, right? Because we need to get the stock exchange up to level 2 to get the banks in order to raise this land value. But this is a pretty massive building, and I don't particularly want it in this town. Oh my goodness. Are we going to need to start something a little bit bigger than I was expecting? Yeah, I think we will need to do that soon. So one thing we could do is we could just place it down and then just, forget about it and get the banks. But I'm not going to do that today. Okay, so fire, police, we did that. Education, we don't have any education this way. That is because we don't really have the residential, but we do have the demand for schools because we have one school. Yes. Oh, sorry, two schools. We have two schools. So we could get an elementary school out this way, which might just reach the area that we're hoping for, but it probably won't. We could add in, say, this large elementary school, which could work out. It actually does kind of fit the theme of this kind of area. Could throw in one of these as well. You know what? We're going to pass on the schools for now, and instead we'll throw in a library, and that will help the land value out itself. Oh my goodness, look at this. National Library. This is from the Africa pack. Oh, that's awesome. That's a really great asset. Oh my gosh. Okay, but we just need a small library. Why don't we throw in something like this? A bit modern. Will help kind of the look of this area. Kind of like it on this hill as well. So yeah, this could work out. All right. So that should raise the land value a little bit more. And then of course, parks. So why don't we look at incorporating a park into this area? Because it's pretty large and nothing can really fit in this zone with the road connections that we have. So let's smooth this area out, and then we'll add in some park assets to make it a nice little area here for people to enjoy. All right, so went a little further than I was expecting with just building some parking for the library, but I think this looks really good. Got some older style apartments here. Even though it's a busy road, I think having older apartments kind of works with the theme. We have a bit of wilding over here with a nice little nature walk through this zone with a variety of trees. So I think that looks nice, and it also helps kind of transition into the area or into the town from the busy intersection. Okay, so let's continue with our medium density because we should be getting really close to the next milestone. So right in here is a really awkward little spot, but we can get this to look really nice with a 4x2 spacing using a particular building that we've already used, which is this one right here. If we can turn this one, oh no, we might need to turn zoning back onto this road. Hopefully we don't destroy the yellow building right over here in the process by doing that. But we can get these two buildings to look really good together. Individually, they look nice if you get them in the right spot, but together it sure does look really nice. It looks just like the right building for this kind of slot, even though I don't think you'd park down here. Oh, that's for the industry zone. Okay, well, good luck getting your car out of that. I'm sure as heck not going to do it for you. That looks tricky. Okay, so let's maybe think about detailing up this little corner here. Maybe a bit of a desire path. What else could go in this zone? Probably actually some actual building type would go there, but we don't have that ability because we'll mess up with our zoning that we have been doing. So we could add in like a cool prop, for example, which could kind of center us. We're kind of in a fairly busy intersection here or corner, so I could definitely see us getting some sort of mainstay building. Like I was looking at this grill, which made me think we could totally get that in here. Maybe it's like a seasonal burger shop or something that pops up here. Oh my goodness, just as I'm planting the trees, this building catches fire. So luckily our fire department put it out. But yeah, that looks really, really nice. So this is the area where we're getting close to the pollution, so we gotta watch ourselves. But we can totally get residential buildings on this half. So it starts to go brown over here. So I think maybe once we get to the halfway point, we stop. And we're lucky with the way we've developed our grid is that we know that we can totally get a road running right down the middle here. All right, so I'm looking at what we got going on here. So this is a blank zone. So that means it's just going to be typical dirty industry. But if we get industry in our district here, it'll mean that it is forestry, which I'm totally okay with putting close to our residential. And hey, look at that, we hit small cities. So step 1 of today's episode is complete. We unlocked rail. So now I'm just gonna kind of continue with this ever so slightly just to get some more residential in around Oracle Bay, and then we'll move on to trains, something that we really started in episode 1 planning it. So now we can kind of bring this forward into today's episode, and then, you know, we're going to be leaving it for a little bit because I'm going to be taking a break, but we'll come in right back, and hey, look at this. Our trains are all going to be there. We're going to be set for some great expansion down the line. Okay, so yeah, let's move in this direction a little bit because I think maybe we should get just a bit of residential out this way at least. Okay, so keeping in mind that this is again the dirty industry, we can totally get some high density residential over here. Let's just triple check with our pollution. And hey, yeah, look at this. This is great. We could also get some residential along the waterfront. However, I'm saving all the waterfront stuff, you know, minus the fishing here, for a dedicated video on the matter. So again, seeing as that this is in our district type, we can fill this up with forestry industry, and we should see ourselves get some forestry industry in there. But look at this, we can also get a bit of residential in here. That's great. It looks like the grid is separated a little bit. No, it's not. Okay, so we could fill this in ourselves, or we could just let it pop up automatically. Let's fill it in ourselves. Okay, very good. So that will really help just boost the residential capabilities of this area a little bit. Now let's focus on this kind of zone, and then we'll start talking about the trains. Yeah, maybe this area as well. I don't know. I don't know what this could be. Probably a plaza. That probably would work best. So we might end up leaving it. But this is going to be like a bit of a main street. So I'm just going to reserve this for commercial. And then I'm thinking of turning zoning off of this road here, even though we have zoning on this side. We're going to have a lot of traffic taking this direction here, coming from the market. So I can see us just kind of reserving this as a bit of an avenue with no zoning on it. So that means that we can get some residential through here. All right, looking good here. Now, these buildings do have some grass on them. I wasn't expecting that, or some trees. So we might need to pull back some of the concrete work that I just did. And that's okay. I think it's probably best if I limit the concrete use of this in the city anyways. All right, so trees hiding the awkward portions. And look at this. This is looking really nice. I'm really enjoying how this looks. We just have a bit more residential to add in. And look at this. Those amenities that we added made sure that this building was a-okay. So let's see what else we have here. We got a bit more of that tight to deep zoning. So we'll do something really similar to what we did previously. We'll start off with this building here. All right, looking pretty good. There's obviously more space that we can fill in, but I'm really craving to do the trains because that's something that we've been waiting for a long time. Now we can do some passive zoning during the process because the next milestone is pretty far. So we're not going to be really pushing too far or too hard for the milestones going forward. But something to keep in mind that we're 5,500 away from that. All right, so before we dabble into anything, let's take a look at what the city needs. City needs some more water. We're already at 150 percent, I believe. Yep, we are. So, oh my gosh, look how much money we're making. That's incredible. I really didn't think we'd be making this much money this early. That's some pretty good cash flow. My goodness. Holy cow, I actually can't believe that. Let's add in a bit of water. And I don't think this town has water, but for a good reason. It's pretty dirty. So maybe we can squeeze in a water tower right in here. So there we go. We definitely boosted our water availability with that. Okay. So passive zoning. I'm just going to zone up some more in Port Roberts here. Oh, whoa. Not high density. Holy cow. That would have been a bit of a disaster. But yeah, we can just zone up all of this. And we're risking a death wave, I know, but passive zoning. We can come back to it in a bit. This is just going to be that anyways, so why not? All right, so finally we've arrived at our waterfront where we have a dedicated area saved for rail. So this industry road that no one should be using, if someone's using it, be very surprised. This is going to be our rail network. So we're just going to replace this with rail here. All right, so in order to do this, we need to place a train station. So we're going to just place a cargo station down. And I guess before we do this, we'll just make a cargo station really quickly. And I do know that I want a cargo station out over here. So why don't we call a bit of a mulligan and get a cargo station in this direction? So how are we going to do this? Because we have our bus turnaround here. Maybe we could have it in a dedicated turn off zone right in here, right off of this road. Yeah, that could be good. But we're getting pretty close to the highway, which runs the risk of backing up traffic into it. So let's do a bit of pre-planning here. All right. Never mind. I wasn't ready to do that anyway. So we'll do this, plop it down, you know, classic, delete it. There we go. We have our rails unlocked. So a bit of a second mulligan on the cargo network. But let's see. So this industry road is where our first rail line is going down. So if we turn off node snapping, place one right here, and we get a rail like that. Our second rail is going to be right beside it in this zone here. Like so. So we need to make sure that these two rails are exactly in the middle here. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. But let's make sure that when we're doing this, we'll do one and then we'll kind of use the parallel road tool to do the other. Now let's turn on our road guidelines. Then we can make sure that we're snapping in perfectly where we want to be. Nice. Then we can follow this up with this. We'll have to use the parallel road tool for that. But now we need to get under the bridge and stuff. So we've already done this. I'm just going to do it in a bit of a speed through here. All right, so here is the rail. It's pretty smooth and it's gonna work out just fine. Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying how this looks now that we have the rail in here. That is absolutely fantastic. Yes, this is perfect. The plan is coming together. Mwahaha. So, yeah, the waterfront video is going to tie this in a little bit better because right now what we have is we have one connection here and then one connection here. So I'm thinking some cool high density condos down here would be nice, like a revitalized kind of waterfront feel, moving away from the old kind of industrial style. Um, this industry road, I'm debating whether or not we're going to continue the rail track through here and run it over in this direction, but maybe because, this is probably not active anymore of a rail network, this could become like a metro or an LRT or a tram line. So that would be really fun to do in the waterfront video, but we need to figure out what we're doing with this because we need to bring this rail over underneath this section of road, and then again bringing the other one out in this direction. So we can probably stay at the same height that we're at, but this road piece needs to be elevated because we are going to bring the rail underneath it. Okay, so these two rail lines are going to split, one and then one, and then we're going to have two lines on both sides anyways. So let's put on some of our guidelines here. And let's see. So if we were to kind of curve out perfectly from this spot, right at the middle of that road piece, we bring it out over in here. All right, so now we can kind of line this up a little bit better, height-wise, and I think we can probably go up a little bit. To about there, that's okay. And then let's run another rail line, just very slightly further, and we'll kind of estimate where this rail would go. All right, so we're slowly getting up in this direction, and we really need to get above ground or at ground level on this side. But that's okay. I think we have enough time and space. We're going to go freeform here, and the plan is to go kind of through these trees, through this forest, and then emerge right here. So we almost could, in a way. I think this is just going to be one rail line, but I might as well get two through here. So right here sounds good to me. We should definitely be at train height. What the heck? What the heck? There we go. Okay, so then we'll have another one right beside it, and then we can run the parallel road tool. It doesn't matter. We can do that after. But parallel road tool all the way from here to here once we're done. But I think there's no topography challenges, so we should be in the clear just to place it as we see fit, as the railway company probably would have. So that is it's going to be made up. And we're just going through a forest, right? So I think we can do whatever we need. This is probably a bit more of a modern rail line, probably at the time when the town border here was determined. This is probably nature reserve or city park. Maybe it was made after. Maybe the park was reserved afterwards, and this was seen as like a really cheap way of getting the rail around the city. So I think we can pretty much safely just kind of go at it to about here. Let's get a little bit further away from the road. All right, so we have the rail right of way running through here, but obviously we need to slope it, right? We have tons of potential with this zone. I'm really enjoying this. That is for sure. So let's slope it up to at least 2%. And yeah, I think 2% is a good little baseline for rail sloping. So I think we could probably start the sloping from about here. Why not? And then let's start off to get to here. 1.4, fantastic. Let's just mimic that all the way down to here. Should be the same. And then why don't we actually just bring that slightly further into the trees? So 1%, fantastic. That is a great slope here. All right, so now this gives us some great potential here. We could even bridge across at 1 or 2 roads. And then we could even get a level crossing should we wish, but I don't think we really will need to. Probably 1 bridge here, maybe a second here or something like that. But yeah, not much more than that. Onto here, I think when we do our interchange, we'll need to figure out a way to make sure that we are including an access point into both these sides. But I really like the rail challenges that this is going to create. Okay, so now we're on to this side here, and we're going to be doing the same kind of thing. But this side, we need to get underneath the highway. So I think what we're going to do is reslope the highway itself, because it's not exactly perfect. There's a big bump here. So if we do a really long gradual slope, we should be able to find ourselves a nice little gap. All right, so we've created a bit more space underneath here, but this is where it's going to kind of go. This is kind of the slot that I'm aiming for right in here. So we might as well just grab all of these nodes here and make it the same height as that. Kind of trying to do this with keeping in the theme that this rail is probably here first, right? So the yeah, this one especially would have, because this is probably the one that would have been running right into Fort Prairie. My goodness, Fort Roberts first. Okay, so now we need to reslope this. With this as a bit more of a more modern extension onto it, and this is where the port was. All right, so we're looking at the topography here. It is a bit of a challenge, but I think if we kind of follow this major, oh, I lost it. This major topography line right here, we should be fine. So let's try and clear that space a little bit. Then let's clear the trees in anticipation for that connection. So if we have that curve right here, we should probably look to delete these trees here. Okay, so there are some fallen trees on this, and they are props. So if you go in to move it and click props, and then you can just do this. I don't want to delete them all though, because I like the aesthetic of it for nature reserve builds, but just enough so that it's not in the way. There we go. Okay, so let's grab this one, and we'll work on the inside rail, I guess, depending on your perspective, really. And okay, so we're going in this direction. We're in freeform. Kind of follow our pre-planned area here, and then we're going underneath the highway. So if we look at the terrain again, yeah, we're going to kind of cut this off a little bit, and then we're going right into a bridge probably. Oh, this is exciting. Okay, so right about there, and looking at this right now, and it looks like we've kind of messed up where the nodes are. So I can just quickly move these. Okay, and this is a highway, so I think I'd prefer a bit, significant clearance than I would otherwise. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. Okay, I think we're going to need to move this node a little bit as well. I'm seeing as the other rail is coming on this side. And if we go onto this side, no node. It's a bit further. Okay, I think we can just, get... I guess we should probably slope it first. Yeah, it's a good idea. And then we'll get the parallel Road tool in. Flat. Now that is fantastic. My goodness. This is quite the rail trench that they dug. Okay, so we can parallel road it now from here all the way to the end. Press tab. Oh my goodness, this is a highway piece. No, 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 no. Okay, I have rail in my hand. Now I'm going to go into the network multi-tool. Click parallel. There we go. All right, fantastic. So now we have this massive rail trench. I actually really like the idea of this being a trench. I think it kind of hides it as well a little bit amongst the nature. But okay, we really need to plan the right of way. That was easy. And now let's remove these props. So looking at the topography, we are probably going to bridge here and then connect up into this zone. So I guess we should probably think about accessing it from this point now. And we'll split off probably right here. And then now we can kind of plan our right of way using the topography and the freeform. So looks like we can just kind of blast right down the hill here. And where are we? We're right there. So we can almost pretty much just stay straight. But I do want to have a slight curve in this direction. And then we'll curve back to about here. And then we'll connect up. I'm going to go into elevated for this. And this is the side closest to the river. Okay. So we can just connect it up. Like so. All right, so we're looking really funky down through here. But I think all in all, we are, going steady here. We're doing good. We just need to clear these trees. We can probably go a bit smaller because this is just a single lane rail now. All right, so we should probably think about sloping this properly. And is this a pretty sharp curve? It is a pretty sharp curve, but nothing I can do about that. So let's slope it from about... Oh, that's not the sloping. Here it is. From about here. And we're going along the outside here. All the way to here. And we're going to see what it's like. Okay, we're going to slope it to as far as we can. Right about there in the trees. Okay. Okay, so we're looking at 1%, 2% grades. Massive dips. Okay, I think we are looking good if I just click it in. Nice. Oh, that looks fantastic. Okay. So I will then imitate that from this side all the way over to here. Oh, sorry. I need to get this node in particular to the same height as this. So move it, Control H, click. And then now I can go back into Network Multi-Tool and select this node that we just elevated to a certain point over to here. Ta-da. Now we have exactly the same all the way through. This actually looks incredible. I'm really pleased with this. Let's smooth this out, especially on this side. And seeing where we need the elevated portions now, I think we can return to ground level through here and here. And then we'll take off elevated from this side. And look at this. This looks so cool. It's just perfectly elevated where we need it to be through this, dry riverbed / probably snow melt river. Oh my gosh. And then it comes right out to here. Fantastic. That looks so, so great. Okay, so now let's slope the rest of it. Autosave. So we kind of went from here-ish. So we can go all the way back up to here now. Oh my goodness, look at that slope. Oh, okay, so we're gonna need to bridge again. That is okay with me. I really think the bridging is really unique, and it will add some aesthetic that is very common in the Pacific Northwest, right? So let's elevate from about here. Okay, we're gonna need to do some work on these vanilla rails. My goodness. And we got some abandonment. Oh, okay. We can leave that. All right, so let's return some of this to the ground level, particularly through the forest here. Okay, just that I think is all that's necessary. And I think we can just smooth out the rest, and we should, or smooth out these kind of bumps, and we should be good. All right, now let's connect the other rail to our other network, the network that runs kind of out of the city and the original network in the area. So I'm seeing this kind of area right here as a bit of a clearing. Okay, fantastic. So we connected out over into here now. And yeah, I think we should probably look at sloping this rail correctly as well. So we'll go from here all the way down to where we have our connection. So yeah, there's just a few sticky points here. So, ooh, all right. Oh wow, this would be one heck of a engineering project. But I like it. I think this is going to add some really cool aesthetic to the city. There we go. And then we'll have just the land stick out from here. So let's grab this height, bump it out a little bit. And we'll come back with the smoothing tool just to expand it a little bit. So if we're looking at this, we stay really steady here, but we're having this huge, massive rail aqueduct. Oh, that's viaduct. That's the word. Type of aqueduct. It carries trains, not water, though. Okay, then we'll bump this out. And I know there's a lot more terrain work that we could do to make this look really, really nice. Maybe we can come back here when we detail this up, and it could be like a really cool nature reserve with some cool photo areas for the historic railway viaduct or something like that. That'd be cool. Okay, but I really, really, really like how this looks. We've connected it up now. Last thing we need to do for the rails today is, actually there's a few more things, but one of the last is to bring the rail all the way through, at least to here today. So why don't we bring it all the way out to about, oh my goodness, here? Oh, we're too far, okay. This is where I will connect it up into our city, or into this one. If we just do that, gives us a long enough route here for the rails to sync up. Pull them apart a little bit so it looks a little nicer. Make sure you have segments on, move it. That would be helpful. And we could also probably remove a node or two in this connection. Probably both of these nodes can get removed so that one train can fit inside of these two nodes here. Okay, so let's clean up the rail right of way. There we go. Look at this. We have a double right of way running all the way through here. And we just got to connect up this last little bit. Fantastic. My goodness, look at this. So there should probably be a couple points along each section where you can cross over. But trains will have to pick their poison at this point. And we can obviously tweak it as we expand. But you do get some funky stuff like this, though. So we're looking good. Let's follow the rail all the way down through here. This is my favorite thing. I am just in love with the way this looks. And then we go underneath this. Oh, wow, look at this. This is awesome. Okay. Then we split off into two different directions. We go through a forest, and then we're at this point again. And since we're in Move It anyways, let's just select this building. And we will reset the object. There we go. Oh, wow. Now we're just going to do the same thing through here, but I didn't plan for this originally, so we're going to need to remove these industrial buildings. And we're just going to do a simple little bridge. All right. So we're gonna then kind of follow the highway in a similar sense to what the um, rail on this side is doing over here. So I thought that was kind of like a nice touch to kind of whomever made the map in the pedestrians and promenades DLC. All right, so I'm going to run a parallel road to the highway itself. So we've selected the rail, it's in our hand, and we go to parallel road in the network multi-tool. I'll go from here, and I'm gonna go parallel all the way to about this point, but we need to kind of jump it over to here, over to here. Yeah, let's just say right about there because we're getting into the edge fog, which I will turn off once we actually build out that way. But then if I press plus or minus, it should move it outwards. Yep. So we're going to try and line it up with what we have. So right about there, does that look about lined up? Yeah, it looks pretty good. We'll click it in. Okay, very good. And then we need to tweak it, right? So let's first of all just connect this up. Like that. And we should be at exactly the same heights as this, but then we get situations like that. That's okay. So let's make sure that this section is elevated here to here. Now let's go one further on each side. Okay, so we're on the wrong side, so you click tab, and there you go. Looks like we could probably increase it like by 1 on this side. That's okay with me. Maybe they got a larger right of way for this section. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that because there's some gaps, but that looks realistic, like grass is growing through it or something like that. Okay, so let's connect it up. And then we need to do a bit of an audit on the system as a whole, including slopes. So we need to slope this whole rail line, particularly through here. So I think this is a good height for all 4 of these nodes crossing this ravine / river, or dry river. So if we just grab these and let's make it all 8, we select it and we go to this height. That's a lot better. All right, so let's slope this. I should have sloped it first. From here. All right, so we need to connect this out of bounds, don't we? So I guess I'll need to turn off edge fog. So this is render it. Great mod. This is what I've been using for this. And edge distance. There we go. Now we can see the edge of the map. We will run this all the way through to the edge, and then we will call it a day. Okay, so now that we're going to the edge of the map, one important thing when you're doing this is when you do connect it out of bounds, let's just bring it to about here, and then we'll connect it out. Just like that. We need to make sure that there's enough room for the trains to fit in one node. So if we go to Network Multi-Tool, this is really like a Network Multi-Tool showcase, isn't it? And you remove that node. This should be large enough to fit trains. Just to be safe, we can move it here and just pull this one further. So now a whole train can fit in here. And we can kind of see on this side of the map what's happening at the end, on the edges, in case you've never seen it. People come in and out. These people are waiting for transit, I think, like intercity buses. But as soon as we get trains, people will be waiting out here for a train. So they'll actually be waiting like right over on this side for the trains. And then once we get planes, they'll be waiting for the plane over here. So you want to move the node so that the whole vehicle can fit, because you get traffic jams like this on these edges of the map. Maybe one time I can do like an edge of map tips and tricks video, if that is something that interests you. But my goodness, we did a ton today. Huge rail improvements in the city. We're looking at it as a whole, right? So we had just pre-planned this part, but now we have the actual rail connections. And my favorite part of this is this. I gotta say, I really like the way this looks. Just like this is, to me, this is exactly how the elevated rail is supposed to look and work. Looks really fantastic. Maybe one time we could flood the lake, and bring water flowing through here. But even just kind of running the rail through this forest here looks really, really neat. Really enjoy that. Same thing right through here with this bend. And definitely looking forward to having this become quite the rail junction. Seeing as we have an old factory over there, we should probably play into that a little bit. And then we can definitely look at bridging or tunneling underneath this set of rails in the future as well, which is exciting. And then if we're over here, back where we just were on this diamond interchange, which probably shouldn't be a diamond interchange, I just wanted to kind of get the original interchange in place, what probably would have been built first. And now we have the rail line running through here where it would have been when it was originally built. So now that the town is building up, we're going to face this challenge of having an inefficient interchange in an inefficient area, seeing as we have the rail right here. So we can't do like some grandiose fix. So improving this interchange is going to be a fun challenge. What that is going to entail, I don't fully know, but I have a fun idea. We could have a second interchange over here to feed in traffic, or we could run like a cool loop system, because the only real inefficiency is that these cars have to turn left. So we could fix that, but that is for a future video. I don't even know why I'm talking about that. Let's end today's video with a bit of traffic fixing. This actually looks okay through here, but we have no right-hand turns on this side, so this should be okay, seeing as we're going into 2 lanes. Yeah, but should this be 3 lanes going forward? We have many cars turning left. We don't really, but I think it really should be 3 lanes. So let's grab this road here and do that. Okay, fantastic. And then we'll just add in a bit of node controller action, so we can turn this into a custom node and pull this out a little bit. Okay, and now we can go back to TMPE and change up the way this works. Now we have a dedicated left-hand turn lane in case cars do need to turn left through here. Okay, looking at this, we have lots of cars turning left, so I think this needs to be a bit of a larger road system. In particular, I think this road needs to be upgraded like that. Let's remove our changes on this node. Node controller, delete. There we go. And then this road here can probably get an extra lane. So we can start off just with the vanilla 2+1 road, something like that. And now this whole road should probably be a 6-lane road, this part right here. So yeah, 6-lane. Hopefully there's no parking on it, so let's just use the workshop one. There we go. And then this should probably just be a 3 and 2. That's okay. In real life, this probably wouldn't be a dedicated right, but in this game, we're gonna have lots of traffic turning right, so it's a good idea to do that. But just those improved lanes should really add a bunch to this area. And then we should probably get asymmetry through here. We do have cars turning left here, or turning right, that's surprising. But not many turning left yet, but there probably will. So I could see us making this entire road a 6-lane road. No, we lost what we were doing before. Okay, well, I'll bring them back if they don't pop back immediately. I gotta remember to turn off zoning right away. Um, no, that's unfortunate. And then right through here, probably be 6 lanes, and we should probably make this whole thing 6 lanes. To be honest with you, we'll come back with some TMPE and fix these lanes here. There we go. Dedicated turning lanes for each. It's probably fine. In this situation, we don't need a dedicated right, but we should probably have a dedicated left. Yeah, that's probably the right thing to do. Oh, I see what I did here too. I must have accidentally flipped this road. All right, so no need for a dedicated lane through here, but right through here, we have an interesting situation. We have a small grade road, which is gonna stay, but we have quite the amount of use here, right? So we can do a few things. We can, extend the end piece into a larger road so we can get multiple lanes, or we can use one of these new small 4-lane roads. I think this is probably gonna be the best bet for our situation here, seeing as what the traffic is through this area. And this should really help us out. So just like that, and then right in on this edge point, our end point, we could make the grade larger, which I'm okay with doing because it definitely will make it more efficient. All right, so now at this point here, we have a fun situation where we can just very simply have a dedicated left and a right, but it doesn't seem like we can. Oh, it's straight. Okay, so it's considered a straight. Okay, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, all in all, that is going to be really efficient, and those small improvements, I'll fix this later, will really make a difference through this zone. But traffic is going to be a fun challenge through this area. So I hope you liked today's video, folks, where we did some medium density building to start off with down in here. But really, it was a rail episode altogether. So got the medium density shot right here. Click, click, click. Good thumbnails. But the rail network is the grand improvement. So this will be probably the thumbnail for the video, but you already know that. So have a great day. Talk to you soon. Peace out.